Hello everyone out there. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Melissa's Musings. Check out my amazing new nails. How fabulous are these? I can't get over it. I just got them done yesterday. I'm channeling my inner sky and just universe power with these. I've got clouds, sparkles. One of them is matte. It's fabulous. So anyways, thank you guys for joining on this beautiful Saturday morning. As you know, I am Melissa Steele with Steele San Diego Homes, real estate agent extraordinaire, and I'm coming to you with a little bit of a personal message today because John is in a conference this weekend, and I'm holding down the fort by myself, which is amazing, and it offers me an opportunity to grow because a little bit of a secret about me. And this is something that I'm always, every time I share this, my friends with kids are like, are you kidding me? Like, you need to get it together, lady. But I personally hate alone time. I hate being by myself. And for really up until the last year, it's given me incredible anxiety to be by myself. And through my personal development work this past year, I feel like I've linked the fact that I don't like to be alone with the fact that I grew up in a very, kind of like my family was always around. I was homeschooled. Some of you may not know I was homeschooled. I came out totally normal. Well, aside from being a total weirdo, but normal. There's nothing different or odd about me. I don't wear a prairie skirt around because I was homeschooled. But I was homeschooled, so I was always around my siblings. From a very young age, I was always involved in a lot of like homeschooling activities, so I was always in classes and sports and activities and always around friends and around family. And as soon as I transitioned out of that environment, I moved right to college where I had constant roommates. And from there, I moved in with, my boyfriend and all those things. I've never really had the opportunity to be alone. And one of the reasons that I also dislike being alone is because typically as a child, when I would be alone, would be if I was hiding in my room from something. Maybe it was my parents fighting or a conflict in the house, or I wanted to avoid doing schoolwork or whatever it looked like. My alone time was usually associated with negativity in some capacity. So I never learned to truly love it. I never learned to value the alone time with myself, the thinking and contemplating and really taking the time for me and self-care. And so because that was never a priority for me growing up and also always associated with something negative, being alone created a lot of anxiety for me. So as I was going through Ascension Leadership Academy last year, I got a lot of coaching and a lot of support in pushing myself outside my comfort zone, in being alone, in taking myself on dates, going on walks by myself, taking myself out to a restaurant by myself, doing things by myself to familiarize myself with how it feels to be by myself, and also learn to start loving the alone time because now it's associated with positive things. But I wanted to come to you guys today with this acknowledgement of one of, my weaknesses and one of my fears, because I wanted you to really have a clear understanding that when I'm doing these Melissa's Musings and like how I show up every day in the world, I try and be authentically true to quite literally like the good, the bad, and the ugly, and this being one of my uglier things, because I want you guys to truly know that like we all deal with shit. We all deal with a voice in our head. We all deal with insecurities. We all deal with fear. Like I am not some superwoman who just I'm just like, yes, blazing through to the next goal. Like, I'm fearless. No. I wish I was. I have some really amazing mentors who come off of that way, but I know that even my mentors struggle with fear and some of the basic things that, some of you may love personal time. I know for a lot of my mom friends, when I'm like, oh my God, I get so much anxiety when I'm by myself, they're like, are you out of your mind? Like, I would die for an hour by myself. And I'm like, I get it. I totally do. But like being authentic to myself, it's recognizing that I do have a problem with being by myself, learning why that is and why I don't enjoy spending time with myself, and then learning how to shift and associate positive experiences with being by myself so that it's, an awesome thing that I get to enjoy with myself. Because honestly, for a really long time, I think one of the reasons that I disliked alone time so much is I would get in my head and I would be by myself and I would start to get anxious because I didn't have other people to take my mind off of things. And I would get myself into a frenzy about, you know, me. My mind would run away, and leaving myself with those thoughts, I never enjoyed the alone time. But the silver lining to this video, and really the message that I wanted to deliver you guys with, is even though this is still a struggle for me, so John's in a training session all weekend, and I get to be by myself for like 12 hours today, and I think like 9 hours tomorrow. And it's fantastic for me. I embrace these opportunities because while leading up to it, I'm always like, oh, shoot, like, John, like, I'm going to have no one to, like, talk to all weekend. Like, that's so my inner conversation. And so even though all week leading up to this weekend, it's been mixed feelings for me. It's been like half of me is like, oh, like this is going to be great. I get to have alone time. And then half of me is like, oh no, I have alone time. Like, what am I going to fill it with? I need to stack my calendar so I'm not left by myself. And magically, today I didn't have too many appointments. So I do get to spend a lot of time with myself. And while I do have a lot of work to do, I get to create alone time for myself. I get to create time where I am excited to be by myself this weekend. And I get to fully embrace the fact that John is in this training. I get to fully support him in being present in this training. So totally in the background, enjoying my personal time. But what I wanted to really like, and I hope this message resonates with you, is that even the smallest, silliest things can cripple even the most powerful of us. Like, being alone is something I despised not even a year ago. Like, I would, on a weekend like this, I would have probably stayed with a girlfriend. Like, that's how bad it was. Because I seriously do not and have not enjoyed time by myself and being by myself. My mind just, I was, yeah. So I am learning to truly love it. Alex, thanks for joining. So with you, now I love it. I am on that pathway to loving alone time. So I am enjoying being on the path with you. And I'm honestly learning to love it. Like, I have been through some really uncomfortable situations with myself now. And if this is something that you struggle with, here's some great tips. Go on a walk by yourself. Start talking to strangers. Take yourself on a date. Go get your nails done by yourself. Start doing things by yourself. Honestly, taking myself out to restaurants by myself is a huge stretch for me. It makes me redonkulously uncomfortable. I'd rather be in a closet eating by myself because I feel like everybody in the restaurant is judging, oh, why is she not with anybody else? Like, that's what my inner conversation tells me. And the few times where I've dragged myself to the restaurant and like busted through that fear and been like, screw it, like I'm going to eat by myself, like this is going to happen. I sit there and I'm like, oh, this is actually really nice. And what I do in those times is I commit to not being on my phone. I commit to not, doing other things. And I commit to being present as I take myself on a date. And it honestly, every time I've done it, has been really, really lovely and enjoyable. So I get to do that today. I get to create some date time with me. I also think I may get to take a nap because I'm feeling really tired and exhausted and I don't want to get another cold. So some self-care gets to happen. And I get to really enjoy my time today, even though my afternoon has no more appointments. It's got no friends. It has no clients. It's got some work, of course, but I have an afternoon free with me. And it's going to be beautiful. And I get to truly enjoy it. And I get to learn to love me during this time. So it's going to be fabulous. But yeah, I love you guys. And I just wanted to come to you with something that I struggle with. And I struggle with it often. Like, I honestly tell John that I struggle with it a lot because even though we work together, it's as if he's never here. Like, not because he's always running errands. He can only concentrate on like one thing. And I want to acknowledge him because he can super focus and like, he is like a man like this with his blinders on and can get so much stuff done. It's incredible. But me, I'm like Chatty Cathy and I enjoy having companionship in my work environment. And I always like peek over my computer because I'll show you kind of our setup. This is my side. And then of course you can see the back of John's computer's right there. So he sits like on that edge. And the reason that we did that is actually because I love not seeing his computer screen. It used to create conflict at our studio when I could see his computer screen and like see if he was on Facebook or something. Even if he worked like 99% of the rest of the day, if I turned around and saw him on Facebook, I'd be like, Like, what is he doing? So we eliminated that friction in our relationship, and now he gets to do his own thing. I get to manage my own thing. But sometimes I peek over the computers and I'm like, hey, like, are you still over there? Like, do you want to hang out and like eat lunch together or something? Because like I often feel so honestly working with John has been a great opportunity for me to love and learn to love working with myself, because that's really truly like how it feels sometimes. But yeah, thank you guys so much for your support. Alex, thank you. I'm going to have a fabulous me date. It's going to be so phenomenal. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to do something great. And hi, Therese. I love you. And I know that you love alone time. You get to teach me your ways. I know that you love nap time too, but you also get to teach me your ways, because I lay down in the middle of the day and then I have this like, you should be doing things. Like, you shouldn't, like, do you feel guilty about this time that you're spending right now in bed? Blah, blah, blah. So that's another thing that I deal with that I get to continue to work on, because every person deserves naps if they're tired, and that's what I get to tell myself. So love you guys. I will talk to you soon. Hope you're having an amazing Saturday, and thanks so much for hanging out with me during this time. It's been fun having some companionship on my alone day. Love you guys. Therese, don't ever unlove your nap time. It's amazing. You deserve it. I love you guys. Talk to you later.